Welcome to another edition of Our City. This show will air the week of the League of Municipalities. So from November 15th through Friday, the New Jersey League of Municipalities will have their annual conference in Atlantic City. It's the 101st meeting. The title of this year's conference is Meeting the Challenges of Municipal Government. This annual conference is the largest gathering of public officials in our entire country. And this year, thousands of delegates will have the opportunity to attend educational sessions, workshops dealing with land use and housing, public health, economic development, public safety, taxation, budgeting, and many more seminars. For more information, visit the League of Municipalities at www.njslom.com. And if you need any more information concerning this week's events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. And after these messages, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Thomas Eicher, who is the board president at the Eport Presbyterian Center, and Krishna Garlick, our director of Health and Human Services.
We have some of the finest teachers in the country. And then they graduate. Kean University.
Welcome back to Our City, where I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Thomas Eicher and Director Krishna Garlick. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Tom, we'll start with you. You're the board president of the Eport Presbyterian, a longtime organization in our city. Tell us about some of your background. What's your role there?
Sure. I've been the president for about 10 years, but the organization, Elizabethport Presbyterian Center, has been in existence for over 50 years, founded by Krishna Garlick's father, Reverend Joseph Garlick. And it's a community center that serves the people in the Port area of Elizabeth, and we have programs ranging from preschool to senior programs and all ages in between.
So, Tom, how did you get the job as board president? Did you wake up one morning and tap you on the shoulder?
That's what I want to do. Actually, my minister tapped me on the shoulder. I'm a member of the Basking Ridge Presbyterian Church, and we are part of the Presbytery of Elizabeth. So it's like a diocese, but it goes from Elizabeth all the way out to Clinton, New Jersey. And so part of our mission work for our church is to be engaged with the center. And so they said, will you sit on the board? And I said, sure. And then one thing led to another, and I've been engaged ever since.
You've been the president.
Been the president for the last 7, 8 years.
Tell me, the presbytery, is there like a bishop or something that runs it, or
no? Well,
a director?
Presbyterians love meetings, so rather than a pope or a bishop,
our country was founded by Presbyterians.
Yeah, we have endless meetings that we talk about it. So we have a synod of the presbytery, and then we have a board. So we have each church has their own organization that leads it, and the elders. Called a group called the Session, and then we have the Presbyterian, and above them is the Synod, and then larger groups from that. So is there
a chair of the Synod?
No, it's pretty much an organization that's run collectively, democratically with the members.
Okay.
So we rely on volunteers and finances from all the church members of the Presbytery.
Okay. I never knew that. I learned something new. So, Krishna, you've been the director of Health and Human Services, but in tonight's show, Tom said your father actually started this.
Yes.
Tell us, do you remember? You're too young.
Yeah, I was way too young. Well, I remember being active as a part of this event as a small child. And Tom and I were actually talking while we were waiting and saying that it used to be that we would feed people inside the center, and all of the kids that were a part of the program would perform for the seniors. That's something that we've kind of moved away from, but we're thinking about bringing back, because now the entire program is delivery to people who are, sick and shut in.
And how many do you deliver?
We deliver over 300 meals.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Tom, each year the organizations collaborate to do something special. Have you been involved in Thanksgiving before?
Yes, yes, I have.
What's your role?
So I basically recruit. I do two things. I get members of the churches to donate turkeys, donate turkeys.
That's a fraud, I think.
Yeah, I know. If you're giving them chicken. So we collect the donations of turkeys, and we use about 15 to prepare the food that day, and the rest we give out to individuals and families that need it. And then also volunteers from my church. So every year our pastor comes, and he comes with his daughter, and our associate pastor comes with her sons, and members of our church come and help deliver the meals. So I coordinate that end of it. So I'm basically the turkey and the volunteers from our church's person.
And Director, how many years have you been involved in the event?
Oh,
Have you
in
been
my
involved since you were a
entire
little
life,
girl?
yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, since I was a little girl.
Oh.
So I think the great thing is that we've been able to bring in additional partners over the years. I mean, some of the constants are that you have, obviously, the Eport Presbyterian Center. You know, you have my family. My sister is a volunteer, our children, my cousins. This is a part of our Thanksgiving tradition for, you know, over 45 years for me.
I wasn't asking your age, Director. I mean, I don't think Tom was either, right? No.
But now we've been able to bring in groups like Someone's Daughter, and those are young people who come in and they deliver meals, and they bring in all of the desserts for the event. IHOP is a partner. So IHOP by Jersey Garden Mall, you know, and they donate all of the mashed potatoes and pans of stuffing and vegetables, and so it really has become a great community
Tell us what the meal
partnership.
is then. Since you started on, you kind of. What is the meal? It's turkey.
So
what-
it's turkey ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, string beans, cornbread, 2 desserts. So you get a pie and a cake, rolls. Am I missing
It's a lot of food.
anything?
No, that's
macaroni and
right.
cheese.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it really
Macaroni and
is.
cheese.
Yes, macaroni and cheese, cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
It's
Who makes the
everything.
macaroni and cheese? Tell me you do.
No, I
No.
don't. But we have volunteers
That's
who
better,
kind of.
right?
It's great because it's come to the point where we don't do a lot of planning. People know their role, and so IHOP calls me and says, "Hey, Krishna, are we on for Thanksgiving? I'm committed to the same items." We have community members who call and say, "I'm making 5 pans of rice or 5 pans of macaroni and cheese," and they have done the same thing. It really is just family tradition for so long that it gets passed on through the generations, and the churches do their part, and we do our part, and it really just comes together as a beautiful event that day, and we're done and cleaned up by 1 o'clock and home with our families.
And Tom, does it work that easy for you from the
it's-
presbytery's point of view?
It's very good, and it really is. It's a great opportunity to get our church members to come into Elizabeth, see the center, see what we do, and make a connection. And it really is one of the most important things we do, local mission events that we do, to make sure that connection is there, because candidly, not a lot of people from Basking Ridge come to Elizabeth all that much, and so it's really good to get them down and feel part of the community and make that connection.
Well, maybe now for the mall they come.
Now they come for the mall, or they come for Kane,
Right.
some of the restaurants, but it's just good to make that physical connection,
Right.
and everyone, once they volunteer once, they always come
They're
back.
hooked.
So Tom, then tell me, since the Presbyterians love to have meetings, do you get together after the event, have a meeting, and talk about the
I
successes?
try not to.
You try not to.
We report back. I report back on
Okay.
it and let people know, and put photos for the congregation to see, for those who can't make it.
So, Director, tell me, the event open to anybody, or do you have to register ahead of
So
time?
you have to
Anything
register.
Like that?
You have to register. You call the Eport Presbyterian Center to register, and their telephone number is 908-351-4850. They can just call. They say that they're either a senior or someone who's sick and shut in, or if they just say they're in need, we don't ask for any proof, but we do say our focus is on seniors and sick and shut in. And they can say, it's me and my husband, so I need 2 dinners, or me and my grandchildren, so I need 4 dinners, and we will deliver them to your house that morning.
Really?
Yes.
How many people do you have delivering? You coordinate that?
Well, I help. We all kind of
You all kinda-
coordinate.
We probably have 100 volunteers
Probably
easily.
100 volunteers doing either
you
serving or delivering.
Right. And do people actually eat in the IHOP? I went there one year.
No, so we don't have it at the IHOP anymore because space-wise, it was really too small, because
was.
they're
You had
still
that back
open
room.
for
I was there a couple
and
times.
they're still open for business, and so that didn't work out. So now we are back at the Presbyterian Center, and we use 2 floors there and do everything there.
Oh, that's right. I was there. Was it last year?
Yeah,
I was there?
last year we were at.
It was the
Yeah, you
first time
did come
right.
because you served turkey.
A little bit.
You
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to throw it on myself. I'm not, sponsors. Who are the sponsors besides IHOP? Who else gets involved here?
Yeah, so it really is, again, the Eport Presbyterian Center, Vision Inc., which is the organization I do in memory of my husband. the Eport Presbyterian Center, IHOP, and Someone's Daughter. Those are the main sponsors for the event.
And you said you're done by 1, so what time do you start?
Volunteers start to show up around 9 a.m. Because all the food is already prepared. So we set up and we begin serving somewhere around 10:30.
About 10.
Start delivering.
We shoot for 10 and it ends up being 10.
Right. And we start delivering, and we're probably done with deliveries by 12 o'clock.
Oh, really?
And then we start to clean up.
But in fairness, the chefs, the people that are cooking the turkeys, and your mother and other volunteers, they start early
Yeah. Well, they
in
start,
the morning.
Yeah, or the day before.
The day before, or the night before, or even 3 o'clock in the morning, start getting
Right.
food ready.
Yes.
So Tom, does the Presbytery do any of these in other areas, or is this the one that really?
This is the one that we sponsor. There may be others. It's the one that our church is directly involved in.
So I often wonder. You said the pastor brings some young daughters, and and you've been there since a young. What do the young people think? I know I brought my daughter once to, not this one, but something else, and kind of like. They come away with the attitude, well, I have to do it because Dad told me to. But then again, there's a sense of, hey, some people have it not as good as
Right.
me.
That's really a lesson, is that obviously each experience is different, but when you're there and you deliver and you see a person being so thankful for it, and maybe they're in a wheelchair, or maybe they have a walker, and you know they're not going to otherwise have a
Right.
meal, it really sticks with the
Right.
children. And
Right.
even if they're rambunctious, I think the message usually sinks in.
Right. I think we do a really good
Since
job.
you did it
of
as a little girl,
giving-
were there times saying, I got to do this again for Dad? Or
Oh, I mean, there's times,
it?
there's times now where I'm like, oh, I really would much rather just stay in bed Thanksgiving morning, right? Or not run around the night before and pick up all the turkeys. But, the reality is that you then make a delivery, and you have that person who, wraps their arms around your neck and says, thank you, because I wasn't going to have Thanksgiving dinner, or I'm all alone. And so, it's so nice to have had some contact with people, particularly with our seniors who are, alone in their house most of the days if they're not going out to programs or they don't have family nearby. And so I think that's what sticks with people. I was telling Tom, I love when the kids come back and they tell their story, right? I knocked on the door and this lady wanted to give me money because she was so grateful, and I just told her, no, it's okay. Or, I felt so bad because she, was all alone. And those are the things that, you want that to have that impact.
Any
on
stories
their
for you,
kids'
Tom?
lives.
The only story, when I brought my daughters the first time, it was a warm day, and we were delivering, and the fellow had his window open, playing rap music, and in his underwear. And it wasn't for him, it was for his mother. And I'm ringing the doorbell. Finally, I stick my head in and yell at him. He's like, ah! And so then he threw a robe on and came out, and the kids are like, he was in his underwear. I said, yeah, well, he lives there, Right. So then they were fine, but they remembered that story for a long time.
And they still say,
Dad
dragged me to his house.
Dad dragged me out and delivered the meals to a guy in his underwear. But he was really for his mom. So.
Listen, I want to thank the two of you for your commitment, as well as the work that you do in this issue, and also for taking the time to join us on the show today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
I want to thank Mr. Tom Eicher and Director Krishna Garlick, and please stay with us after these messages. I'm going to be joined by Jubilo Afonso, who also works on a Thanksgiving Day dinner with the Portuguese Lions Club.